Stu here with Raid Shadow Legends to go over Burgoth the Malformed. We're going to see how much damage he can do at a level 60 right here. Inflated damage. Oh my god, look at this. But really, after this one hit, we're going to go into a level 50 Burgoth with no books so that you can really see whether you'd want to use this champion or not, if you're free to play or a low spender, because that's really the only reason to even use this champion. 76k. Here's our level 50 Burgoth. We just got HP across the board, HP ring, neck, all of that. We're not going to worry about crit rate on him to get that regen on the A1 just because you can if you want to. If you have crit rate gear, put some crit on him. That'll work out well. Just make sure you get that HP up right here. We've got 60,000. 152 speed is a good speed to shoot for if you're doing Dragons 20 and you want to use him as the off affinity tank. That's where I'm primarily using him. We're going to go ahead and try him out. Anything where he's the off affinity and we don't even have to worry about that provoke, where he's being attacked all the time regardless and then healing everybody else up. You have an apothecary there to heal him. Or really, I think I'd prefer him in a regen set to get life back himself, and then I think he will be better off. We won't have to worry about that A1 and crit, because if you're going to take him into Faction Wars 2, Faction Wars 21, the boss will swap buffs and debuffs on you, and then also it transfers HP. Plus, you have to get through the Valkyries. If you want to RNG it to get through those Valkyries to get this provoke up, you can. Like, you could RNG that. Right now, we only have a 30% provoke because we're not putting books into him. But honestly, I don't think this champion is very good. I don't think he's worth your time. If you are free to play or a low spender and you don't have Sile of the Drakes yet, because once you have Sile of the Drakes, you don't need any of this other stuff to get through content in the game. But Burgoth was kind of given to us and sold to us as this champion that's made for Faction Wars. But even still, with that being made for Faction Wars, I think he will do a good job at helping you out with Faction Wars. I just don't think he's going to be that great for Faction Wars 21, and that's where a lot of people need help. Or maybe they need help on 20, wherever the Cythalia waves, if they have it on that one, I can't remember. But if they need help lower in the waves, I think he's going to work out very well for you at level 50 with no books, just like this, and put a regen set on him to make sure that he's healing back his own self, and then just try to get enough accuracy. I've got 207 accuracy here. We have an accuracy piece. We've got accuracy substats. That way you can get the provoke off when it does happen, so you can get through those waves easier. I feel like when you get to the boss, though, at Faction Wars 21, if you don't have 300 resistance, if he's getting that regen up and then gets that regen stolen, you're going to be in for a bad time. So you don't want really high crit unless you can get that high resistance on him. But if you are, like if you're just focused on getting through Faction Wars, if Knight's Revenant is one of the last things you have, and you really don't have any champions for Knight's Revenant, sure, focus on this guy. This guy will probably, he will help you out. He will help you out. You might have to RNG through the waves, so make sure you get up enough provokes to provoke all those Valkyries, because once those Valkyries pop off, you're pretty much done. I mean, you're really not going to get through there if you don't have a lot of champions to deal with that. If you're just running with Burgoth, you're running with a few epics, or maybe even not the right epics and some rares, it's probably not going to happen for you, even though they lowered it. But I do like that Burgoth with Ally Protect will still heal for the full amount, even though the other person is taking some of that damage. Let's get into Dragons 20 and look at that. We'll go into Ice Golem as well. We'll see what he can do at 50 for people that are free to play or low spenders and ones that don't have Sile of the Drakes. And then as far as Knight's Revenants, it will come open in a few days. A day or two from now, we'll check him out then. We'll run him through there. We'll do another video. We'll try him out. Well, I've got him at 60 now. You saw him in the very beginning. Hit really hard. We'll try him with some different gear, of course. We're not going to try to do damage. We'll put him in a regen. We'll just put him in some regen set, see what he can do to get through there. I was running him through Dragon 20 because they would always attack him. Now, if you have a really low Void HP champion, they'll probably attack that champion too, but make sure that whoever you have in there, I probably should have brought Frozen Banshee in with this group because she has high HP and I don't have to worry about her being attacked. Burgoth would always be attacked, and he was attacked probably about 70% of the time in this one. And with the Ally Protect, I have a Dwarf in here doing 25% Ally Protect. Whenever Burgoth has it on, he is still taking the full amount of damage, but that champion is transferring over 25% of the damage in this case. So he's still healing for the full amount is what I'm getting at. So Ally Protect is pretty interesting on him, but I feel like if you have somebody with a lot of Ally Protect that's really good on your team, you probably don't need him. You're probably just doing just fine with your Apothecary and somebody who has Ally Protect to help you get you through the waves. And if you need, really, if you need Provoke to get through the waves, you could just use Gnarlhorn, a rare guy that can Provoke that we've all done videos on that is fine. Because, again, this is more of a Knight's Revenant give me, people feel like, but I just don't think he's going to do that well. And we will find out that in a few days from now. Or, again, if you are free to play or a low spender and you don't have a lot of champions in your arsenal, try him out at level 50 with no books and see if he can work out for you just like I'm doing right now. And to test it even further, I brought in Nazana to make sure that whenever he was getting hit, that she would take 50% of that damage, because before the dwarf was taking less, to make sure that he was healing for the full amount of whatever he was hit for, even though she's taking half of it, which I thought was pretty cool, that he'll still heal for the full amount and the other person is taking some of that damage. It works out well. And again, here everybody is attacking him because he's the weak affinity. So if you want to, when you're coming up in the game and you come up against something where he would be the weak affinity, throw him in there. Throw him in there so he'll be attacked. Bring your apothecary to give him some heals and some speed. He'll get some provokes every once in a while. Play him at 50 and don't book him. Because if you book him, I'm telling you, unless Faction Wars is the last thing, she's got a decreased defense, so they're coming after her right there. Right? I should have brought in Frozen Banshee. I brought in Frozen Banshee at level 6 once I took him up to 60, and I didn't have any issues. Like, they didn't come after Frozen Banshee ever. And then when we got to the boss would go down with the whole entire team. I didn't even bring Nazana, just him. We can do that in the other guide. When we do the guide of him going to Knight's Revenant, we'll show him as being the off affinity tank in here. But believe me, it works out. It works out really well. Let's get forward to an Ice Golem run so we can see him work at level 50 there. We're going to run through here very easy. We're going to beat this boss super easy. But if you already have a Nazana maxed out and an Apothecary doing the 3-turn Ally Protect, 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown, you don't need this guy for progression. Here's my Ice Golem run with him at level 50. We got a Burgoth actually giving him heals with positioned where he is. We're doing the Ally Protect again to make sure that he's not taking that much damage, but still healing everybody for the full amount. We got our decreased defense and decreased attack with our Stagnite, which we need on the boss. Then we've got Apothecary in here to speed us up, and we had to bring in Umbral Enchantress. It's kind of sad. I wish Burgoth was just 100% chance to provoke. If he was 100% chance to provoke, even for 1 turn instead of 2 turns, then at least we'd have that consistency and we wouldn't have to worry about missing it. And then he could come through and provoke that wave too. But unfortunately, we can't even really use him in Ice Golem 20 because, or any Ice Golem there with the dogs, they come in there to do the reflect, because people will just die. You know it, they'll just die. Umbral Enchantress, luckily enough, does the AoE provoke. And then after that, she's locked out. She doesn't use the skill until she gets to wave 2. Well, she will then do an AoE block buffs, so they can't get up that reflect. So we're gonna bring in Umbral, and if you have Umbral, again, really what we want to see is will he heal us when we're at the boss? Will he heal the rest of our team there? Is he gonna help out heal enough with our Apothecary here that it's gonna make sense to bring him in here, even at level 50 with no books? Doesn't make sense to bring him in here. The damage is subpar. We're not doing any damage with him. You saw the gear. We're just going straight for HP, HP, HP. We are getting a regen on him, like I said, with the Burgoth there. He's in the position to always get Burgoth's buffs. We could have done it to maybe Umbral got the buffs. It doesn't matter, because they're attacking him, and he got the provoke off. That's why. He got a few provokes off. He's going after Umbral. He's getting a little bit of heals, but we don't really care about the wave. So we know how it works on the wave. I'm glad that went kind of quickly. So here we go. Here's where I'm talking about Umbral Enchantress as opposed to him. Umbral is always going to block in 3 turns, or she's always going to provoke. Whereas with him, if we brought him in here and I tried it, he's going to provoke like a few, and if even one of these don't get provoked and they get a chance to get it off, you know, full auto. We don't want to sit here and manual it. Then we're done. The team will kill itself is what always happens. So we're going to skip forward here to the boss. Let's see what else we can see here. All right, so at the boss, when the boss hits us all, what kind of healing are we going to get? You'll see what Burgoth will do for us at level 50 with the rest of us. We've got Apothecary here to back up heals. I tried it without Apothecary. It doesn't work well. He's not your healer, even though he's getting heals here. And oh, the other issue is too, you know what? The other issue is that the Ice Golem's big slam doesn't heal. And they've talked about this in content creator chat, and they've looked into it. The devs are gonna see what they can do to fix this. But that might make a difference for us, but even still we get pretty low. I think it'll make a big difference. Maybe then he could actually be used in a comp like this without Apothecary. And that's a big maybe. We'll see. Let's see how much damage he's doing here. We've got Ally Protect up. Of course, that's gonna help everybody out. And boom, that one right there is not healing. You saw that? We took damage. He is not healing off it. He's only healing off with the big AoE he's going to do with the knives come out. This one. So you saw everybody got like it's such a small heal. It's a very small heal. He's not taking like a tremendous amount of damage. But I don't know. I guess with the big slam is what matters. And if we can't heal back from the big slam, then we can't judge this yet. So it's broken to know whether he would be good here. And he might be good here, especially in a setup like this. With Burgoth giving him the heals, I would love to come in here and try it later on with Umbral Enchantress to get through the waves, Burgoth, and Stagnite, and then 2 DPSers that are mildly tanky. We can't bring in 2 attack DPSers. They're going to die too quickly, fall over too easily. but maybe some kind of defense-based champions that can hit fairly hard. I'm sure we'll be able to get through it, because we're going to get through it with this team pretty easily, but the whole purpose is to see what kind of HP he can give you. What kind of HP he can give your team, and when he's not doing anything off that big slam, and I don't know why that's broken in that fashion. All right, we got 1,500 there from those hits, but as you saw, Apothecary was pretty low, and he had to heal himself. The rest of them seem pretty nice capped out. It's not. Okay, so the thing is, please, don't waste your resources. If you have Scylla Drakes, if you're far enough in the game, she can get you through everything in the game. We know that. We've seen that 100 times. If you go look at my videos, go look at everybody else's videos, Scylla Drakes will get you through if you're far enough in the game. If you are a low spender or free to play and new to the game, use them at level 50, put them in a whole bunch of HP gear, try him out. See if he works out well for you. Get that accuracy up enough. See if he's giving you enough support heals. But you might be better off. You're probably going to be better off just bringing in somebody else. If you're going through Knight's Revenant, take him to 50 and use him in Knight's Revenant to help get through. Obviously, at that stage, you're not even worried about getting to 21. You just want another Knight's Revenant champion to help you out. He's going to help you out through that until you can build a strong enough team, and we'll see what happens in a couple days from now with that. And then once they do fix him being able to heal off of that big slam, we'll have to come back and revisit, see what happens, because he should be taking a good amount of damage from that big slam and hopefully healing everybody else. So then I'll put him in a regen set where he's going to regen himself. I'm not going to worry about doing 100% crit rate. We can on Ice Golem, but just to make it easier and to see if he can heal and get a regen set with enough HP, maybe that would be easier. We can try both. We'll do everything. I'm not a big fan of this champion. I don't think he's that great. I think he's a big gimmick champion, and they kind of sold him as that since they're doing it as a fragment fusion. Again, if this was Skull Crusher or somebody really amazing, it would be nice. It would be nice, but I'm hoping he's going to help you out in Knight's Revenant, and that's the whole purpose. I think that he was put out is for Knight's Revenant. But that's all I've got, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Let's go look at the gear I've got on him right now so you can see what that big hit was about. Here he is with the 76,000 that you saw originally hit. He has 80,000 HP. He's got 205 critical damage. We've got him in Savage Gear and Speed. We've got critical damage, HP, critical damage, and then we've actually got HP here instead of accuracy. We weren't worried about getting accuracy out of him. We're just trying to hit as hard as possible. Masteries for Burgoth. Just forget what you're seeing right here. Again, he's not a damage dealer. Don't worry about offense whatsoever. Take less damage from critical hits. You want to counterattack because if you have enough crit rate on his A1, he's going to get a regen on him. You can do that. We're going to get more turn meter when other people are hit. That's always great. You're probably going to want to come down to Fearsome Presence to get an additional 5% chance to provoke. I would if I'm going to fully max out this champion, and we're going to do that when we go into Knight's Revenant. Now that he's 60, when we go into 21, we're definitely going to want to do that so we can try to get that provoke off on all those Valkyries, the Martyrs on the first wave, and then I'd come down here to more accuracy. Of course, Evil Eye to kick the turn meter down, and then maybe turn meter increase whenever a debuff falls off. Is this a debuff one? Whenever a debuff cast while this expires. Something of that nature just to get more and more turns. But we're going to use our main one to come down here to Fearsome Presence. Again, don't worry about the offensive mastery. We're not going to use that champion in this fashion. But that's Burgoth, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time. I will see you all in a video soon.